Disclaimer, this video and all of my channel is not for kids. If you are under the age of 13, click off of this video. If you are 13 and up, you may proceed to the video. I don't own most of this footage, and everyone who did upload stuff is credited in this video. What's up, guys? This is going to be a kind of different video of all the currently known rock and roll star media with a bonus segment, so enjoy! The first known documentation of Funny Toys Rock and Roll Star came from Cherry Pizza on Muppet Central, July 13, 2004, where they wrote about them finding knockoffs of Rock and Roll Elmo and Ernie with boxes that had Sesame Street logos that said Crazy Toys, but it actually said Funny Toys, and it said Rock and Roll Star in place of Rock and Roll Ernie / Elmo, and the boxes still called the characters by name, and they said they had the same recordings, but slightly different, as you'll hear later in this video. Only Ernie had Elmo's voice and Elmo had Ernie's. They saw it at some sort of dollar store, assuming in Australia, looking at their page. But as you'll see later on, and for a while, this was most likely the only known documentation of Rock and Roll Star in the 2000s until a few years later, until Yuri Gitman on April 13, 2009 on the website Making Toys posted an article called Rockstar Elmo, and he posted that he found a Rockstar Elmo at the Salvation Army on 4th Ave that had seen better days and was broken, and he wanted to see what it looked like on the inside, and China fake gore warning in these pictures. And the first known photo of a rock and roll star is this, along with the other photos he took. But the front of the eyes is gone on this one. But as you can see, he's holding a repainted Rock and Roll Ernie guitar mold. He has also a different fabric underneath the leather, which is all flaked off in this picture. And it also has slightly different fur and fabrics. And also, his arm is separate because it's in bad shape in this photo. And it has Rock and Roll Ernie print on the feet, and it's just the rock side on both. If you're a true rock and roll collector, you'll notice these differences. But it was broken, so he posted no video of it. And on to the second picture, where he shows the back of Elmo, and the battery pack is hanging out. And you can really see in this photo how bad of condition the leather was in. And as you can see, the battery pack is very similar to the actual Tycho Rock and Roll Elmo and Ernie. And except for having a white wire, the wire is clear. Anyways, this photo shows the inside of the guitar after it's been removed from Elmo. And as you can see, the mechanism is very, very similar to the original rock and rolls, the full-size ones at least. It is the exact same, except for the lights not being on a board and just directly wired to the circuit board, and they're just placed in the front half of the guitar shell. And it's pretty impressive how perfectly they were able to copy this for a knockoff. This photo shows a close-up on the gearbox and the handpiece where the rod in the hand connects to and moves when it makes music and it's on. And as you can see, they even copied the shaking piece. They honestly did pretty good copying this. I wouldn't be able to tell if I wasn't a collector. I could see how many people this could have fooled back in the day. This photo is a very close-up image of the whole gear system and the whole belt-driven shaking. And this shows a better look of the moving parts. even though the belt that drives the hand and the shaking to move at the same time isn't shown here, but it's the same as every other full-size rock and roll character. But in these photos, they didn't have, like, the cover over it, but it's most likely the same piece, because other people have repaired their rock and roll star before. We'll get to that later on. But anyways, this is another picture showing they copied it pretty good, even though the plastic handpiece is red instead of orange, and that goes for both characters. But some models of Elmo and the Avon Elmo and Country Elmo had red pieces, so it's not that odd, but it's odd when you consider other things. Anyways, the next photo shows the battery box unscrewed, and notice the smaller circuit board compared to a Tyco one. It has fewer components than the Tyco one, but it still has all the wiring and stuff, as you can see in the photo. But it doesn't have that many components because it has a small board, so you'll see later on some of the stuff it caused. And in this next photo, you're going to see that this is the back of the circuit board. It has the little black blob that the data and all the programming is held on. And if you look closely, you'll see the letters and number AB2 on it. I do not know if this has any meaning of some sorts, but I wanted to point it out anyways. But this board is rather small compared to the Rock and Roll Elmo and Ernie from Tyco. This is more like the size of the mini Rock and Roll characters, in my honest opinion. This photo shows the cosmetics a little bit better, and as you can see, Elmo used Ernie's shoe print, but it was only the left side that said rock on both sides for some reason. And the jeans and maybe the same material, but it's very similar looking. And the jacket probably had a similar vinyl material, but a lot cheaper. And the fabric underneath is obviously different, because on the rock and rolls, the official ones, it was black underneath. And it's gray on the rock and roll stars. And I don't think that was smart, but that was all of the photos that were made by Yuri Gitman on making toys. So I guess that does it for the 2000s. The next rock and roll star media comes from a Greek Facebook user known as HFPX Harris, and the rest of the name that he put was in Greek. And in 2016, he posted a bundle of pictures, which included a picture of a in-the-box, good condition, Funny Toys rock and roll star Elmo variant. As you can see, this is what the variant is supposed to look like. And now we can see the box a little bit. As you can see, it says Funny Toys rock and roll star instead of Sesame Street rock and roll Elmo or Ernie, but in this case Elmo. And it shows they copied the background and the overall look of the box pretty good. We'll see a little bit more later in the video, and you'll see it extremely good in the later part of the video. And you can see that this is a pretty good and convincing knockoff. Then, after this one photo, things went quiet for Rock and Roll Star for a little bit, and their community wasn't really a thing when this photo was posted. Now moving on to the current decade, where there is a lot of info and pictures about them showing up now. The 2020s, so here we go. First, there is this photo, which is the first photo of a rock and roll star Ernie to appear. As you can see, it looks very identical to the real toy, except the face is a little weird, it doesn't have much hair. The hands are similar, except the orange is different. And the toy looks about the same. The tuning bolts on the guitar are black instead of silver. Elmo's button is used on Ernie, so it's red. And it still has both feet that has the Ernie print of rock. And this was listed on Wallapop Spain on August 21st, 2020. And the date is in the picture. Next photo shows the Ernie with the glasses up. And it's the same thing. Nice to have pictures of Ernie. And this one is soon to be owned by Acreon97. Then on March 13th, 2021, a Facebook post by someone named Miguel Arredondo posted a photo with Miguel supposedly with a Funny Toys rock and roll star. It's not in the greatest or worst condition. It looks fine, except for the one hand being more faded. And it presumably worked. And as you can see, it's more HD than the other photos. And then you'll see in two more photos, Elmo has proceeded to appear in two more of the photos on his Facebook page. And after that, things went quiet about the Elmo because there was only that one post dedicated about him until I decided to leave some comments along with some few other people, and he was going to record it, but then he gave it away. So that's unfortunate, I guess. That was so close to us finding it then and there. But next, HFPX decided to post Rock and Roll Star onto eBay in March, April 2021, and that's how most people discovered Funny Toys Rock and Roll Star. And Miguel's comments were made a year after this listing was made. And as you can see, it shows the one side of the box, which has a kid that was from the Rock and Roll Guitar box with Ernie Photoshop, and it mentions Ernie on the side, but it still says Elmo Songs on the side listed, and it also has the Funny Toys and the Rock and Roll Star printing. And the back of the box shows that there is a lot of differences, like two stickers, which we'll get into later, more of like a copy of the back of the box, along with a typo that says Elmo Sing instead of Elmo Sings. And it has Made in China and both of the toys that you can get with model numbers. And it shows the other side of the box, which you can kind of see he has a paper tag attached. And also they put the kid with Elmo on the side instead, and it says Elmo on the left side. So I believe Ernie and Elmo had the same box, and the tag was attached to the foot, not the moving hand, like people believed when it was first discovered. When on the real ones, it's on the fake hand. And people tried to buy it, and there was no success, as the seller was pissed off at someone for not paying the first time around. So then the listing ended, and people then forgot about this listing, but it still left an impact. And as you'll see in this video, that didn't mean the end of the road for Rock and Roll Star. And then in May of 2023, there was a listing that had not only a TMX Elmo 2010, it contained a Funny Toys Rock and Roll Star Ernie. It was in Facebook Marketplace Argentina, and then the one and only Zadok Leader 365, or Ivan, depending on what you want to call him, proceeded to buy the listing, as you can see in this photo. And he made a video of it in action, so here it is. As you saw in the video of it in action, it has all 3 lights of the same color, which is red. It doesn't have any synchronization when you activate it. It constantly just starts moving and lighting up. And instead of playing the full Elmo audio, it uses snippets of it, which include the phrases and one clip of the song, which was the chorus. And also, the rock and roll stars have another thing omitted when you are using it, which you'll see later in this video. That wasn't discovered until later. Anyways, that was the first video. Also, in 2 other pictures Ivan took, he showed that his had jacket damage, and he showed the tag, which was pretty messed up, but it had the model numbers. It said, Rock and Roll Star, surface washable only, the newest funny toys made in China. Pretty good tag copy, I'll admit. Also in May of 2023, another one was for sale on a Chinese website called Idlefish. It was listed as Sesame Street plush doll with guitar or something like that. I have a screenshot of the listing, and I'll show that later. And the listing proceeded to show these photos of Ernie like this, with a guitar in the weird position that I haven't seen many in with this guitar. And here is a close-up on the guitar. And here is a close-up on Ernie's face that they took. The back of the jacket that has no leather left, basically. A picture of inside of it that shows the battery box with weird terminals. And another picture that shows a better condition tag. And there was a video, but it wasn't discovered till later, but here it is. As you saw in that video, one light was broken and it wasn't moving. But the listing is gone and it is unknown who bought it. So this one's whereabouts are unknown. So that's that. Then on a German website, a Funny Toys rock and roll star Ernie was seen in a lot of other Ernies. There was no other pictures of it alone, so here is a picture of it. There was no activation video or no individual pictures, so here we got this. And next, in September of 2023, a Discord user in the past Snowmax Toys toy collecting server. The person who found this is known as David UTZ, formerly known as David the Monkey, who runs the channel One Above, found this on Vinted Romania at some point, and it was in Poland though. But as you can see, it's a Funny Toys rock and roll star Elmo. And then the server went wild with celebration. So he bought it, but before we get to that part, here's more pictures of it. And then in these pictures, it's showing the angles of the Elmo, or at least some of them. Despite some leather being missing, it's in really good condition. And this is where we discovered something that we did not expect. I'll talk about this in a second, so here we go. That 2 stars on the guitar are red, and the description said that the guitar worked, and it worked. And then he bought it, and a few days later, he sent in the server this picture of Elmo when he arrived, and it looks very cool, and everybody was very excited. And then I DM'd him, and I asked him, hey, could you send me a video of it? And he sent it to me, and this was before it needed repairs because the hand broke in shipping, but you'll see soon the outcome of that. But anyways, here's the video. as you heard, that this Elmo did not have the Ernie chip like Cherry Pizza said it did. So, it just uses the same Elmo recordings as the rock and roll star Ernie does, which disappointed some of the collectors, but we were all still really excited to see it. But the hand was broken, so I gave David some help and advice, and this photo shows Elmo disassembled because he didn't know where all the gears went. And here it is, but with some help, I managed to help him get everything back in place, and he got it fixed successfully. And it wasn't the belt, surprisingly, it was the spinning knob, but he fixed it with some clay, and here was the outcome. Roll the videos.
Big old rugby head. His second big old rugby head. His arms sound differently, I like it better.
And then in 2023, in September as well, Snowmax Toys found this knockoff Rock and Roll Star Funny Toys bear. It looks like it's just the Ernie with a different head and hands, and it has 2 stickers on it. Snowmax Toys found it on a Chinese website. It was on Baidu, and then he found it on a website, and it would not open for some reason. Probably outdated website. So anyways, there's no videos of this one, but maybe in the future that'll change. So yeah, that's the Rock and Roll Star Bear variant. Then in 2023 December, I found more pictures on the Wallapop listing that have been added, and the Ernie's jacket, the one from 2020, it's been falling apart. So I guess that's fucked, I guess. Then sometime in 2024, Snowmax Toys found a frog version, and there's something different about this. They changed from the Sesame Street box to a more generic looking box. It's probably because of a lawsuit that Sesame Workshop filed that we don't know about yet. But it uses the Elmo body with the Ernie guitar, but it has frog head and hands. It probably has the same sound, and the bear probably does too, since there's no videos of this too. This was also found on a Chinese website. Then on December 1st, 2024, another Elmo showed up. It was in slightly better condition than the first one that was found. Besides a few things, like a little leather deterioration. Other than that, he was pretty good. And this one, I tried to buy this one and failed. And it is now owned by Elmo Tube, and now it's owned by Elmo Mania. Anyways, here's the video. Here is the picture of it in a box wrapped that the seller sent me, and when they brought it to the post office, and it was way too expensive for them to ship out, so I told them it's okay and thanks anyway. Then it ended up with Elmo Tube, and then Elmo Tube sold it to Elmo Mania. Here are the videos that exist of it under the ownership of those two. Photos as well. So here we go. Most of the posts Elmo Tube originally made of it are lost media, but here are the ones I've screenshotted. And the hand came off on some of them, but he's in the background of this one. He was featured in this one as well. And he was also shown in a lot of all his channels. Here's a video too.
Keep it up!
It looks like the condition's gone downhill of this guy. A lot of the leather flaked off, and this was before it got shipped to Elmo Mania.
Hey, what's Elmo? It up.
Now HFPX is back, and he decided to relist the Funny Toys Elmo for the millionth time onto Vendora, Greece. And then, this is where the plot twist comes. I went onto a site called Shippin' and I bought it. Yep, your fellow narrator of this video, Ricky Kukin / Chickmo's channel, bought this. And it went through successfully, and then the shipper sent me this photo. The Elmo is obviously shifted a little bit in the box. The hand is up on the guitar instead of down, and the neck strap was replaced with a white string, but that didn't matter to me. What mattered was I was finally getting a Funny Toys rock and roll star, and soon after, only like a day after, it arrived into the United States and it ended up into my hands. And here is the picture of my rock and roll star. As you can see, that tag is an exact copy of the Rock and Roll Elmo Try Me tag. And you are going to see some good photos of Rock and Roll Star in these photos. So be prepared. Here is a picture of the box without the doll in it. And as you can see, it is a perfect copy of Tycho's Rock and Roll Elmo box, except for the changed text and the sloppier looking front. But the background is directly lifted from Tycho's Rock and Roll Elmo, except the quality is slightly grainier. Who knows? No, it might not even be lower. It might be the same. Anyways, the side of the box was just about the same in person as it was in the photos. It looked just about the same, nothing interesting here. Onto the back of the box. The back of the box, you can see the one mark that looked like it was a rip mark was actually just a dirty sticker all this time. And you can see better that the C is crooked on the Elmo's speech bubble. And as you can see, it's pretty much the same, except for a few things. This other side of the box is about the same as the photo showed as well. But now onto the unseen angles, the top and the bottom. The box top is just like the top of the real box, except it's labeled Funny Toys instead of Sesame Street, like expected. However, what was unexpected was this. The bottom of the box is the same, except no barcode, or I don't remember if there's supposed to be a barcode at the bottom, but the instructions for Elmo are directly lifted from the Tycho Rock and Roll Elmo box, which is crazy. I'm shocked. Also, here is a close-up of the tag. Sorry for the glare. It's the same exact tag, but it's not laminated. It's basically the exact same thing as on the real Elmo, except it was on the foot and it's unlaminated. Here is the back of the battery box. It has a black cable, though. that's not important, as there's no Tycho copyright information on the back of this battery box. It's completely blank, and it's smooth where the Tycho copyright is. Also, the battery compartment and cover seems to be copying the later models, and it says "Made in China" on the battery cover in all capital letters, which the Elmo Tube video kind of showed, but this is a good high quality showing of it. Also, there is another surprising show here. The tag is in perfect condition, and here is a picture of it, and it's made of sort of like a thin papery type material. I don't know what it's called, but there's that. And here is the only known photo of a fully intact rock and roll star tag. Also, there's some black lines on the side of it. Not sure what that's from. And anyways, on to the video I took and put on my YouTube. This is something I never thought I'd own, but here we are. This is a Funny Toys rock and roll star. This is so fucking awesome. And here's ABC Easy as 1, 2, 3. Here is the tag, and here's the back of it. And the back of the battery box has absolutely no writing on it. This is my most prized possession now. So yeah, and if Ferdy posts this, I'll staple you to my ceiling. Here is one of the back stickers translated. Toyland EYT Variodocus Limited is apparently a toy distributor. It also has a under 3 years choking hazard warning, which is totally legit, I'm sure. Also, there's another sticker, but it's dirty, and I can't really identify what it is. And if I do identify it, I will update on a pinned comment. Anyways, here's more. Here's a picture I took of a selfie of me and Rock and Roll Star. I know this was just random, but I decided to throw it in there since he is in this photo after all. So yeah, I was really happy to have a Funny Toys rock and roll star. I really am. Anyways, here's more photos of him and more videos and stuff, and enough with the overhype. This photo shows Rock and Roll Star on my shelf in his box. This is the only item I've ever displayed with its box as well, that I actually kept like this. He is so cool to have. It feels surreal owning one. Anyways, let's continue on our journey. Here's a photo I took after he started squealing in the motor, but this was before I went in and started trying to do a repair. It turned out the motor was completely shot. So here's a photo of it off, the guitar off. It has black bolts like the Ernie does. which isn't too surprising. And I did manage to fix it, so don't worry. I did manage to get him fixed. Then I was looking around on him and I saw this on the top of the box, and I'm pretty curious as to what this could be. It's most likely either a price tag or a vendor sticker. That's pretty cool. And here's a picture of Funny Toys Rock and Roll Star, and something we'll get into in the bonus section of the video. It's a knockoff Rock and Roll, a 2. Here's another picture of Rock and Roll Star with another thing that we'll cover in the bonus section. So, be prepared. Yet another picture. Yet Elmo is turned on. So, that's cool, I guess. These are really cool. Another video. More video. I took this picture of Rock and Roll Star with Luz and Amity because I thought it would look nice. And also Elmo was as support in the picture because they would not stand up on their own. Off topic, back to Rock and Roll Star. But Rock and Roll Star is looking great as always. Here is a reaction picture of Rock and Roll Star my friend group uses. Another picture of Rock and Roll Star. Another picture of Rock and Roll Star, this time next to the real deal. Rock and Roll Star close-up. He's so cool. Nature with Rock and Roll Star. Pretty cool as well. Next, we're on the home stretch of the Elmo pictures. First, here is Elmo and the other thing we're going to discuss. And now we're going to show Rock and Roll Star that was originally Elmo Tubes once it reached Elmo Mania. Then we'll get into our bonus section. So yeah, here we go. And here is Funny Toys Rock and Roll Star after he reached Elmo Mania. And here is the unboxing video he made of the Rock and Roll Star. Ding, ding, ding. It's time for the bonus round. Time for the bonus. Now that you know everything and seen everything for now that you've needed to know about Rock and Roll Star, Elmo, Ernie, Bear, and Frog, now on to the minis. So, this is a knockoff of Rock and Roll Big Bird. It has a simple blue fabric, a different leather, or just a black fabric, and it also has a saxophone of Rock and Roll Grover instead of the proper guitar for Big Bird. There's no videos of this one. It was found in a lot of Big Bird toys. It was found in that lot by Snowmax Toys, but hope a video of this shows up someday. It would be nice. Now this is a very fucked up knockoff of Zoe. It's missing the stars on the little star barrettes. It looks like it has Cookie Monster style eyes that are derp. It has no nose. It also has Grover's saxophone and the same simple fabrics. But the hair fabric is the same, and the fabrics for the feet and hands are different from the head fabric. But it has the same Grover saxophone as the Big Bird does, and the materials are the same on the jacket and the skirt as Big Bird's jacket and jeans. And you can instantly tell right away that this one is a fake. This is obviously the worst looking if we're trying to see how well they copied one another. And this one is obvious. It gives itself away that it's fake. It also has no copyright of Tycho on the bottom base. Same with Big Bird. Those are similarly done to Funny Toys, which I think they are Funny Toys. And this one is now owned by Actron. Then Actron made pictures of her. As you can see in these photos, she's just about the same as the photos that they took of her. The original seller took, at least. It didn't work at first, but Actron tightened the screw really tight and...
Alright, let's rock and roll! I love music! Dance, everybody! Yeah, alright! Let us play it again!
Then, as you saw after he did that, she started to work, and she played a high-pitched version of Rock and Roll Grover's song for some reason. Odd. here is a picture of the battery compartment without the cover, but the Tycho information's not there, much like rock and roll star Elmo and Ernie. That's it for Zoe. And finally, here is a knockoff rock and roll Grover that I found in 2023. As you can see, he has pink pants instead of jeans, and he has a tinselly material for his shirt instead of the white. And also, he has no stars on his vest, which is also black. And as you can see, it's very, very similar. And also, the eyes are a different shape, and the face is all differently shaped. But, anyways, when I saw this on eBay, I bought it. Here's the other side as well. Better showing the tinselly material. And now, here's the video I made of it when it arrived.
Alright, let's rock and roll! I love music! Dance, everybody! Alright! Let us play it again!
By the way, the battery compartment's corroded.
Alright, let's rock and roll! I love music! Dance, everybody! Yeah, alright! Let us play it again!
This guy has the same high-pitched Grover recording as Zoe does. And here's some pictures I took. A turnaround. There's a bottom that has a different Velcro. This one was battery corroded when I got it. Close-up of the tinselly material. Close-up of an area where it lost a lot of the sparkles. Another picture of Grover I took. It looks better there. Grover and a Grover cutie bean. And another picture of Grover, but unfortunately, not long after receiving this and cleaning the battery compartment and replacing the contacts, the board decided to fry. So that's fucking great. And I'm pissed it fried still. At least I still have his outside. But here's Grover again. And finally, we'll wrap things up with another rock and roll Grover knockoff that appeared on Facebook Marketplace in Mexico City today, or the day I'm recording this. And it will be bought by Actron. So yeah, that wraps things up for today's video. If you've watched this long, thank you guys so much for watching, and bye for now.